Today we are discussing about the endogeneity problem and then cross-sectional instrumental variables and how to use them in the two-stage least squares, weak instruments, tests for endogeneity and over identification, and we will solve a problem based on household expenditure by using the data of consumption from the survey of National Sample Survey. What is endogeneity? In a multiple linear regression model, if at least one of the regressors is correlated with the residual, then the exogeneity assumption is violated. What is the exogeneity assumption? Now, for the ordinary least square method, the regressors must not be correlated with the residual. So, if regressors are correlated with the residual, this exogeneity assumption is violated, and then we say that the regression suffers from endogeneity problem. Now, endogeneity problem occurs when firstly there is an omitted variable that is correlated with some of regressors. Secondly, if the dependent variable and at least one of the independent variables are determined simultaneously in a system, and thirdly, if there is a measurement error in the system in at least one of the regressors. Now, what is the omitted variable bias problem? Suppose that the population equation is y equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 plus u, and we forget to use x2 in our model, and we estimate y hat equal to beta 0 hat plus beta 1 hat x1. Now, beta 1 hat will not be the actual estimated value of beta 1. What is the relationship between true beta 1 and beta 1 hat, and how can we quantify the bias which is in our model in this way? Now, the population relationship, suppose that the population relationship between x1 and x2 is x2 equal to delta 0 plus delta 1 x1 plus epsilon. Now, if we add x2 in our population equation, then it becomes y equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 into within bracket delta 0 plus delta 1 x1 plus epsilon plus u. So, now solving this equation, we get that y equal to beta 0 plus beta 2 delta 0 plus beta 1 plus beta 2 delta 1 whole into x1 plus beta 2 epsilon plus u. So, beta 1 hat is actually beta 1 plus beta 2 delta 1 and not beta 1. So, there is a bias, and what is the amount of the bias? Beta 1 hat minus beta 1, that is beta 1 plus beta 2 delta 1 minus beta 1, that is beta 2 delta 1. So, whether the bias will be positive or negative will depend upon the values of the signs of beta 2 and delta 1. Now, if there is correlation, positive correlation between x1 and x2, that is and delta 1 is greater than, so therefore delta 1 is greater than 0, then beta 2, when beta 2 is greater than 0 there is positive bias, when beta 2 less than 0 there is negative bias. Then if the correlation between x1 and x2 is less than 0, that is delta 1 is less than 0, then if beta 2 greater than 0, then there will be negative bias, and if beta 2 is less than 0, then there will be positive bias. So, and here I have given one example, you can go through it when you will read the PPT at your home. Now, suppose now go to the second problem, that is problem of simultaneity. Now, consider an imagined regression of employment level L on average wage W and GNP Y. So, L equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 W plus beta 2 Y plus U. Here it is arguable that W and L are actually simultaneously determined from the equilibrium of the labor market. So, both are disturbed by the exogenous shocks from the supply side or from the demand side, and U in the regression equation, U actually residual U contains all those shocks. So, U is correlated with W in this way. So, there is a problem of endogeneity, and the third case is measurement error, that is if we measure X wrongly, then can also we have the endogeneity problem. Now, if there is endogeneity problem, Then to solve this problem of endogeneity, we can use the instrumental variable regression. What is an instrumental variable? Instrumental variable Z is uncorrelated with the residual U but correlated with residual X, which is a with this new variable, that is Z, IV estimator should capture only the effects of Y of shifts in X induced by Z, that is the portion of the variability of X which is induced by Z and effect of that portion of variability of X on Y. So, OLS estimator captures much OLS estimator captures much more. It is the direct effect of X on Y, but here we are taking a partial effect of X on Y. So, therefore, IV is not as efficient as OLS, and if Z is weakly correlated with X, then we have weak instruments and therefore, the problem becomes more serious. And another limitation is we can use only this model only in case of large samples, otherwise we cannot use them. And so these coefficients are biased, and the bias will be high if the instruments are weak. So, for any variable Z to serve as a valid instrument for X, the followings must be true. First of all, the instrument must be exogenous, that is covariance between Z and U must be equal to 0. The instrument must be correlated with endogenous explanatory variable, that is covariance between Z and X must not be equal to 0, and we have to use common sense and economic theory to decide if it makes sense to assume covariance between Z and U is equal to 0. We cannot directly test them. So, because we do not have any unbiased estimator of U, we can test whether covariance between Z and X not equal to 0. The second thing we can test. Now, by testing, now suppose the equation is X equal to P0 plus P1 Z plus V. Now, by testing whether P1 is equal to 0, we can actually test the covariance. Now, this is referred to as first stage regression. So, there are stages in case of regressions here. The first stage regression is now suppose our structural regression equation is yi equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 xi plus ui. Here xi is correlated with u. Now, under these circumstances we will use two stage least squares. Two stage least square means there are two regression equations. The first regression equation is the first stage, that isolates the part of X that is uncorrelated with the residual term U. So, we actually regress X on Z using OLS, xi equal to pi 0 plus pi 1 Zi plus Vi. Here Zi is uncorrelated with Ui. So, we do not know pi 0 and pi 1, but we can estimate them. So, we can find out xi hat equal to pi 0 hat plus pi 1 hat here, and then we can find out xi hat, and we then put this xi hat in place of xi in our original regression equation, that is yi equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 xi hat plus ui. This is our second stage regression equation, and so finally we can estimate them, and the estimators will be called beta 1 hat TSLS. This is the consistent estimator of beta 1. Now, the standard errors in the second stage regression equation are not correct because they are biased. So, because in this case we used actually x1i hat in place of x1i. So, we actually we had taken only that portion of variability of xi which is described by zi. So, therefore, the standard errors are biased. So, we have to use the correct standard errors, and if we have more than one instruments, then there is the model is said to be over identified. So, base instrument will be the linear combination of all exogenous variables. So, suppose we now we talk about the general instrumental variable regression model. Now, the regression equation is yi equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 I plus dot 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 plus beta k x k I plus beta k plus 1 w1 I plus dot 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 beta k plus r w r I plus ui. Here x1 I to xk I are endogenous variables, that is correlated with correlated with ui. w1 I to wri are included exogenous variables, that is uncorrelated with ui, and we are suppose we are taking z1i to zmi as m instrumental variables. So, in the general model we have then m number of instruments for k number of regressors. Now, if m equal to k, the model is exactly identified. If m is greater than k, the model is over identified. Then we have to test whether we have taken any unrelated instruments, whether all of them are not all of them are valid or not. If we have taken any invalid ones, then we have to delete them, and then if m is less than k, the situation is that the coefficients are under identified. So, we have to find out for more instruments. So, suppose the case of one endogenous regressor and a number of instruments. So, yi equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 I, this is only one endogenous variable x1 I, plus beta 2 w1 I to beta 1 plus r w r I, all of them are exogenous variables given already, plus ui. So, there are m number of instruments z1 I to zm I. Now, in the first stage we have to regress the xi on all exogenous regressors, that is from w1 I to wri and from z1 I to zm I. Taken all of them in the equation, we solve the problem by OLS, and we compute the predicted value, estimated value of x1 I, that is x1 hat I. Now, we regress yi on x1 hat I and w1 I to wri. We taken all of them and by using OLS. Now, the coefficients will be TSLS estimator, but standard errors will be wrong. So, we will use robust standard errors. Now, here we have only one endogenous variable and m number of instruments. This is the case of over identification. So, we have to do the test of over identifying restriction and exclude all of them, all of those instruments which are not necessary in our model. Now, suppose there are multiple endogenous regressors and multiple instruments. Now, here x1 I to xki, k number of endogenous variables. Then w1 I to wri are given r number of exogenous variables, and we have instruments z1 I to zmi. So, we first of all, first stage we regress the x1 I on w1 I to wri and z1 I to zmi. Then we regress x2 I on x2 I on w1 I to wri and z1 I to zmi, and we repeat the same process for all the endogenous variables, that is for x up to xki. So, we have k number of first stage regression equations, and we find out all the estimated variables values of these k number of endogenous variables, and we put them in the second stage regression, that is we regress yi on x1 hat 1 I, x1 hat I, x2 hat I dot 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 xk hat I, x hat ki, all of them, and then w1 I to wri using OLS, and we find out the coefficients. So, all of them are TSLS estimators, but their standard errors are wrong. So, we have to use robust standard errors. But here we see that there are k number of endogenous variables and m number of instruments. So, if m equal to k, it is a case of exact identification and there is no problem. But if m is greater than k, then it is a case of over identification and we have to test over identifying restriction. And if m is less than k, then we have to find out more instruments. So, and the case if when the instruments are weak, then covariance between z and k is weak, then instrumental variable has no desirable asymptotic properties. So, they are weak and they tend to give the result almost same as the OLS estimates in this case. So, the efficiency should be improved. To do that, we have to test the strengths of the instruments in the first stage regression. Now, what are the tests of the endogeneity? That is whether we have taken the endogenous variables, the variable we have taken as endogenous, whether it is at all endogenous or not. If the variable is not endogenous, then the whole exercise is a wrong exercise. Then the OLS was the right method. So, we have to test whether this variable is endogenous or not. Now, remember this equation, this first stage equation here, W1I to WRI all are exogenous variables. So, they are not correlated with UI in the first equation. Then Z1I to ZMI, they are instruments, they are also not correlated with UI in the first equation. Then if X1I is at all an exogenous variable, then what will be the implication? The implication will be Vi will not be related to UI, and if Vi is not related to UI, then only X1I is an exogenous variable, and if Vi is related to UI, then X1I is an endogenous variable. So, what we do is that we find out the estimated value of the residual V hat, then V hat is used as an additional exploratory variable in our original equation. Now, if V hat is significant, then we reject our hypothesis, null hypothesis, that is X1I is exogenous. Then the variable X1I is actually endogenous and our analysis is correct. But if Vi is statistically insignificant, then the null hypothesis is accepted, that is X1I is exogenous, then the exercise is wrong, then the right process will be the OLS. So, this is the test of endogeneity. Now, the test of over identification. The test of over identification actually tests three things simultaneously. Firstly, whether the instruments are uncorrelated with the error term. Secondly, whether the standard errors are robust, and thirdly, whether the equation is misspecified, that is whether one or more excluded exogenous variables should in fact be included in the structural equation. To test this, so any significant test statistic would represent an invalid or invalid instrument or incorrect standard error or misspecified structural, any kind structural equation, any of the these three possibilities. If the test statistic becomes significant, then there is a problem of over identification here. So, now let us solve a problem of consumption data from the 68th round survey of NSS. So, our data is actually this data. So, this is actually our data, sorry. So, this is actually our data. Here we can go through the data editor. This is actually our data. Now we are interested to know how monthly per capita consumption expenditure is affected by variations in expenditure on food, expenditure on non-food and household size. So our structural regression equation is MPCEI is equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 non-food I plus beta 2 food I plus beta 3 HHSI plus UI. The simplest possible way is to run a classical OLS. But if we think about the variables included in our model, we see that the non-food expenditure, this depends upon MPC. Food, the expenditure on food is roughly the same for all the households, because nobody can, if anybody gets richer, then he will start doubling his food consumption. That doesn't happen. So food consumption is almost the same for all the households, but rich families will spend more on non-food items than food items. So if MPC is higher, expenditure on non-food items will also be higher. On the other hand, if MPC is lower, the expenditure on non-food items will be lower. Therefore, MPC and non-food are mutually dependent. Therefore, if U changes, MPC will change, because MPC depends upon the income level of the family, and income gets affected by the external shocks in the economy of the country. So, if U changes, MPC will change, and therefore, this will cause a change in non-food expenditure. So, we can conclude that non-food expenditure and UI, they are correlated. So, therefore, this is a case of endogeneity where non-food is an endogenous variable. So, simple OLS will not be applicable in this model, and we have to use the instrumental variable in method in this case. So, we use from the same data set, we have to find out some instruments of the non-food. Age is is a variable given here. Age of the members is closely related with the non-food expenditure. Most of the members are aged. If most of the members are aged, then medical expenses will be high. Whereas if there are large number of children in our sample set, then education expenditure will be high, and so on. Therefore, we can use age as an instrument. Whether member is male or female affects the amount of non-food expenditure. If the member is a male, expenditure on cigarettes, alcohol, etc. will be high. Whereas if the member is a female, expenses on dress materials, beauty products, etc. will be high. Therefore, sex is an important explanatory variable of non-food expenditure, and sex dummy variable can be used as an instrument. Then the level of, and now if the sex variable is given in our data set, let us see whether this variable is there or not. Here we can see that sex variable is in our data set. Now, if such a variable is there in our data set, and we know that there are two codes in the sex variable, then we do not have to find out the construct the dummy variables separately. If we use I dot command, then we can use the dummy variables in the regression directly. So, we have to use I dot sex to use the sex dummy in our model. In the similar process, we can do same thing for all the dummy variables here, all the categorical variables here. So, level of education is another such variable. If the level of education is quite high, then people will purchase more books, less consumer durable goods, etc. On the other hand, if members are less educated, they will purchase less books, and more other things such as consumer durables, etc. So, higher level of education, highest level of education in a family is a proxy variable of the level of education of the family, and therefore it can be used as an important instrument. Type of household, that is rural, urban, agricultural, non-agricultural, self-employed, wage earner, casual labor, etc. significantly determines the pattern of non-food expenditure. Therefore, household type dummy variable can be used as an instrument here in this for the non-food expenditure. In India, people from different religious background have different ways of living. The pattern of non-food expenditure is significantly influenced by the religious practices. Therefore, religion dummy variable can also be used as an instrument in our analysis. And if I am not going back to the data set again and again, all these variables are already in our data set. We can only choose those instruments which are in our data set, otherwise we cannot use them. So, in STATA, the regression command will be IV regress and not only regress. If we use the regress command, it will be OLS regression, and if we use IV regress command, it will be the instrumental variable regression. So, our command will be IV regress, 2SLS, MPCE, food, HHS, and then within bracket non-food equal to age, I dot sex, education highest, I dot HHT, I dot religion. All these I dots are used in case of the categorical variables. So, this is our regression command. So, let us go to the STATA and use this regression command for our regression exercise. And first of all, we have to create one log variable. We have to begin one log variable and give the name IV regress. IV regress, and the format is .log. So, save it. Now, we use the command IV regress 2SLS MPC food HHS within bracket non-food equal to age I dot sex edu highest I dot HHT I dot religion. Now, this is our regression result. Okay. So, now we have to test endogeneity, that is whether we have correctly assumed that non-food expenditure is an endogenous variable. For this we used the command estat endogenous, and this is a post regression command. After the regression only we can use it. Estat endogenous. So, go and write estat space endogenous. Estat endogenous, and this gives us highly significant result, highly significant T statistics. So, Darwin chi-square statistics and Wu-Hofmann F statistic both are highly significant. So, therefore, there is definitely a problem of over identification in our model. So, we have sorry. Therefore, our model, our null hypothesis was that non-food is an exogenous variable, and our alternative hypothesis is non-food is an endogenous variable. So, we have p values close to 0. So, therefore, we reject the null hypothesis, and the non-food is correctly assumed as the endogenous variable. So, now we go to the identification problem. That is over identifying test, we have to do the test for what? Over identification. And for that another command, post regression command, is stat over id, is stat over id, and if that command is highly significant, then we come to the conclusion that we have over identification problem. So we write down is stat over id, and both the test statistics are highly significant. So therefore there is definitely a problem of over identification in our model. So there are three possibilities: either we have included some invalid instruments, or we have not used the robust standard, or not, or we have incorrect standard errors, or thirdly we have a measurement error. Now our model is perfectly specified, so there is no problem of misspecification. We can tell from the, from our original economic knowledge and original perception. Then there are two possibilities here: either we have used some invalid instruments, or we have not used the correct standard errors. For to correct these problems, we will start using from now robust standard errors, and then we step by step we will take the instruments and check the whole exercise, do the whole exercise again and again, and we will check whether the over identification tests are insignificant or not. The moment the over identification test is insignificant, then we can come to the conclusion that our variables are correct. And the case where the over identification test will be significant, then we will find out which variable we have included at the step, and so that will be the invalid instrument, and that instrument will be deleted from our model. So let us start our exercise from the first. Now in the first case we will take age and sex, and then we will do the exercise using robust command, and then we will check the over identification. So go to the original command of IV regression, this one, and now we just delete the instruments. 3 instruments are deleted, and we are taking 2 instruments, age and sex dummy, and using robust command. Then we use the over identification test. So we see that p value is insignificant. So therefore age and sex are correct instruments. Now we go on adding one after one instruments. Now then we use the education highest, and then robust. Now again we use the is stat over id. Here also we see that p value is insignificant. Therefore age, sex and highest level of education, all 3 are correct instruments. Again we go to the earlier process, and we take another variable in the system, that is household type, and use the robust command. Now we see that then again we do the over identification, and we see that highly significant p value. So therefore HHT, household type dummy, is not a correct dummy, is not a correct instrumental variable used in our model. So we have to delete these from our whole system, and once again we use the religion dummy now,
and we delete the household type dummy, and we are once again using the robust command, and then once again do the over identification test, and we see that p value is insignificant. So therefore correct instruments are age, sex dummy, highest education and religion dummy. All these dummies are correct instruments for our non-food endogenous variable, and that is used here, and so this is the correct and robust command is used. So therefore our standard errors are also correct, they are robust standard errors. So from this exercise we come to the conclusion that non-food expenditure is positively and highly significant relationship with MPCE. That means if non-food expenditure increases, MPCE significantly increases. Food is also highly significantly positively related with MPCE, and whereas household size has negative and highly significant relationship with MPCE. That means if household size increases, MPCE decreases significantly, and if household size increases, MPCE decreases, MPCE increases significantly. So that is our correct model, and in this way we can use the instrumental variable regression model in our to solve our problem where there is one endogenous variable among our all regressors. So in this exercise we have not created any new dummy variable, we just used I dot command for incorporation of all the dummies except one, which is automatically deleted from the model in order to avoid the dummy variable trap problem. And so therefore there is no new variable in our data set, so there is no necessity of saving this data set separately. The original data set can be used again and again to solve this problem. And so we are going out from this, and we see that log file has also been created, and all our exercise has been recorded in our log model. So this ends here our whole exercise of instrumental variable, the problem eradication of the problem of endogeneity.